Hello and welcome to the channel, it's Irad, and so in today's video we are going to recap the last monthly report that's talking about all the progress that the teams in charge of creating Star Citizen have made throughout the month of May. But first I have two messages to pass through here. The first one is that my main computer has broken down. It is at the workshop. It's been there since Saturday, so that's why there hasn't been many videos throughout all this time, unfortunately. And my second computer does not really allow me to record footage to use for videos. The quality is just not as good as it should be, in my opinion, and it's not going to meet your expectations too. So that's why I haven't made much videos since Star Citizen Wars, which is a brand new recreation of Star Wars in Star Citizen. It's more of a parody, but we've had a really good articles, by the way, in PC Games and that you're going to find in the pinned comment. Also, the second message is about, thanking you guys of all the really wonderful comments here, the shares, the proposal to help me out for the next movie here. Star Citizen Wars is really a passion project that I started about 2 years ago, which is when I started writing the script and also doing all the scout locations here for the shooting. The shooting itself started in September 2022. And finished in the month of May, so it took about 2 years. Also here I did the editing and the post-production as I was making the movie, because I just didn't know if my computer was going to be able to hold on, and actually it turns out that I was right, because actually it did break out 3 days before the release of the movie. But at least, unfortunately, the video was already out there on YouTube. So alright, this is already said and done here. Let's now talk about the monthly report, which came out about a couple of hours ago after making this video. And here we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. And Cloud Imperial Games have identified a problem that they're going to try to fix here, because whenever AI is detecting two allies that are fighting, right now it's doing nothing and it just goes and look for cover. This is something that Cloud Imperial Games does not want to see. In the future, AI should be able to help one of the NPCs that is fighting and try to put an end to the conflict. Speaking of cover here, some work has been done to try to teach NPCs to find the best cover possible, especially when these are being destroyed, because yes, of course, in the future, environment will be far more destructible than it is right now. But also CIG want to make sure to avoid that NPCs hide behind objects or covers that have been destroyed, because it just wouldn't be any useful, and also it would look very ridiculous. Also, some polishing work has been done when it comes to NPC animations here, especially those that are pushing trolleys, which is something that's going to be really important in the future when the economy is going to be more fleshed out and that NPCs will have a role to play with the economy. Speaking of animation, the Quasi-Grazer or the Space Cow continues to make progress and should be on par with a possible release for Star Citizen 4.0. New armors are also going to come to Star Citizen. Some specialist armor are now done, and also a new heavy armor is in preparation. Perhaps we're going to see new legendary armor, just like the one that we can take from the Dusters in Star Citizen 3.23. Next, we'll talk about ships, and especially the Zeus of second generation, the Zeus Mark II, which saw its level of details phase finished. Now we are talking about the creation of 3 different damage states that are going to make the ship look like it is damaged when it is damaged. Also, 3 ships have not been mentioned, but they are now in white box phase. I suppose that we are going to know more about these ships during this year's SeasonCon. As far as gameplay is concerned, well, the refactor of the multi-tool is continuing to making progress here, and the new interface as well as battery consumption are being planned, and also we have some information about how the multi-tool is going to be using the resource management system to then be able to absorb distortion damage, or at least drain it. Also, quantum travel has been worked on, and it should be more compatible with server meshing. So these are the best lines regarding gameplay, but we are also seeing here that FPS radar is continuing to be improved internally at least, and we also learned that the developers are going to give the possibility for players to scan data, and also as we are getting closer to Star Citizen 4.0, the devs are going to allow us to test these functionalities, for example FPS radar and scan in Arena Commander. So that's absolutely awesome, and I think it would be great there to give the devs some feedback about that. Speaking of Arena Commander, well, some new features are going to come very soon. One of them is going to be an FPS map in EVA, so with zero gravity, as well as a new mode called FPS Horde, which is finally going to let us try FPS combat in Arena Commander. That's something that personally I've been asking for quite some time. But of course, when we talk about the persistent universe, we talk about freight elevators. Well, it seems that work on freight elevators is now done and should be able to be tested in Evocati very soon. New algorithm has also been done to try out new payout for missions, including payouts that are going to be linked to how dangerous these missions are going to be and what kind of risks we are going to have to take. A new algorithm is also being worked on here, and this one will determine the price of merchandise as well as the price of commodities that we'll be able to buy in the game. New containers are also being worked on here. These are containers for liquids that are going to be used for liquid goods, as well as some destructible energy generators which have been created for search and destroy missions, but these generators will also be useful for repair missions that we'll be able to take in the Pyro system. The devs are also working on different behaviors for NPCs that should be available for 1.0 release. Star Citizen is going to have those NPCs at landing zones, and so some short stories will be created and told by those NPCs as they are going to have conversations between one another, and we should be able to hear these conversations when we pass next to them. So there we go. That's what we had to say about the last monthly report. It's really nice to see that we're getting closer to the release of Alpha 4.0, and that also they're talking more about the release of Star Citizen period, Star Citizen 1.0. But let me know in the comment section down below what you have thought of this monthly report. What is the most interesting piece of information that we saw? And with that comes the end of this video. If you like the content, as always, please let me know with a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.